Hi all, welcome back. And in this video, we are going to learn about how to write a relational query based on the statement. So let's say we have one table being given to us, and that is enroll, and it has keys like SID, CID, and grade. Okay, so SID, CID being the primary key for this relation, and if we are asked to retrieve the SIDs enrolled at least two courses. So we need to retrieve those SIDs which have been enrolled into at least two courses. Okay. So for to attempt these type of questions, first we will do what, that we will make an enroll relation like and rename it to T1. Okay, and we will have the SID and CID, and we will have another enroll, I mean a copy of the same enroll relation, and let's rename it to T2, and we have SID CID. Now corresponding to each SID there will be a CID. Okay, so let's say these are the following tuples, right? And C3 and S4, S3, let's say C1. Okay, so these are the tuples. So what we will do, we will make the same copy here. C2, S1, C1, S1, C3, S2, C3, and S3, C1. Now you have to see that for each SID, the total number of courses enrolled has to be 0, 1, sorry, at least 2 means 2, 3, or more than 2, I mean greater than 2. Okay, so we need to find that what are those student IDs who have enrolled in 0, 1, or 0 or 1 courses. Okay, so if we find this and if we subtract those SID from the enroll, we will get the SIDs which have enrolled in at least 2 or more courses. Okay, so for this, if we calculate those SIDs which have enrolled in 0 or 1 courses, okay, then we can subtract it from the entire enroll SIDs, and we can get those SIDs which have enrolled in at least two courses. So if we are making a join, let's say we make a join of T1 with T2, and then we are seeing that T1 dot CID is equal to T2 dot CID. Okay, so and since join condition is based upon the common attribute, so SID would be common, right? So whenever we are making the join, we have to make a conditional join such that if S1 has a CID of C1, okay, then we can make that S1 we can make a join such that S1 is paired with S1, and C1 is not equal to CID is not equal. Let me show this way. Like we are trying to make something like, if we are doing this conditional join, then here we let's introduce a condition that T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, and T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So this means that this field is going to remain the same. Okay, but this field is not equal to, like if this is C1, then we need to find something like this one, so that S1 is equal. Okay, let me erase this part so that it is easy to be understand. So okay, and right. So here we will be making pair with this entity. So T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, but T1 dot CID is not equal to, okay, it is equal. Okay, okay. Let's see another one. Uh so S1 is C1, C1, uh, let me make it C2 only. Okay, so that it is fine. Okay, now here, if you see, so S1 dot T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, but T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So this means that S1 has enrolled into two courses, that is C1 and C2. Okay, so for this, if we find that, so for this, if we check, so we will get all those SIDs which have enrolled in two courses. Okay, which have enrolled in two courses. But to find that, let's say if we need to find that if they have enrolled in more than two courses, so we need to just find that, see here, here we are getting all the SIDs which have enrolled in two courses, because the SIDs are equal but the CIDs are not equal, right? So in order to find that, the SIDs which have enrolled in one course, okay, so we can find it like something like, if um, let's say from here, if we take S3, so T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, definitely. And we can find something, we can't say that okay, T1 dot SID is equal to T1 dot CID is equal to T2 dot CID. So this will not be a good comparison, because somewhere it will pass for S1 also, okay, because we have S1 C1 also here. So we need to find out a solution out of here, so that we get all the SIDs which have enrolled in two courses or more than two courses. So at least means two courses or more than two courses. So we can get two for two courses, but for getting more than two courses, we need to think. Okay, so in this way, we can think something like, mm, if S1 is there, okay, and C1 is there, okay, if let's say S2 is there, okay, and so here it will be valid for two courses. So let's say S2 is there and C2 is there. So we will check the same condition. So T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID. Okay, so T2 dot SID, and T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So for S2 also it will pass this condition, that S2 is also enrolled in C2 and C3 as well. So S2 will also pass for this. Okay, let's see whether S3 will pass or not. So for S3, if we have here C1, so S3 is enrolled in C1, and here let's say S3 is there, T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID. So for this we have just one entry, S3, and here we will see that S3 dot CID is not equal to S3 dot CID. So this condition fails for S3. So here in this case, only two SIDs will come out in result, that is S1 and S2. So this is the condition we need to check when we want to see that we have some student ID which have enrolled in two courses. Okay, two courses or more than two courses will also be there, because if you will check, so that S1 and C1 is there, so there is also S1 and C3. So this case also persist for this, right? So it may persist or may not persist. So it is asking for at least two. So for at least two, we can check for two, and it will be valid for more than two as well. Okay, more than two as well, because this case will also pass in this situation. Okay, so yeah, we can take this as a reference, and we can write that, let's rename our table to T1 enroll, and let's rename it to T2 enroll. And we can write something like, we need to retrieve T1 dot SID from T1 conditional join with T2, such that T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, and T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So this is the case, and we can write it like this. Okay, so this is one way of writing. Similarly, we can also rename the attributes. So that's how. So the basic idea is here is T1 and T2 are two tuples that are belonging to enroll. Okay, such that if T1 dot sid is equal to T2 dot sid and T1 dot cid is not equal to T2 dot cid, then T1 dot sid has enrolled in two or more courses. So this more will come automatically because this two condition will pass. Okay, so just to note, if we have to retrieve, let's say we need to retrieve the SIDs, retrieve, sorry, SIDs enrolled in at least three courses, at least three courses. So here what we will need to see that the SIDs has to be enrolled in three or more courses. So there automatically the same concept we can apply, that we can rename the table like T1 enroll, okay, row T2 enroll, and row T3 enroll, T3 enroll, and then we can make a comparison from here like T1 cross T2 cross T3, and then we can apply the selection condition like T1 dot sid equal to T2 dot sid and T2 dot sid equal to T3 dot sid and T1 dot cid not equal to T2 dot cid and T2 dot cid T1 dot cid not equal to T3 dot cid, and one more thing is T1 dot cid not equal to T2 dot cid not equal to T3 dot cid. Okay, so this is the condition. Just give me a second, I'm just coming back. Okay. Okay, so here we were saying that if we need to find out whether the we need to find out the SIDs which have enrolled in at least three courses. So we will make three tables like T1, T2 and T3, and then we will be comparing by their cross multiplication because we can't do join like this. So we will do the cross multiplication, and we will see that for all these three tables, T1 dot sid should be equal to T2 dot sid and T2 dot sid should be equal to T3 dot sid, and we will be comparing their CIDs such that T1 dot cid is not equal to T2 dot cid and T2 dot cid is not equal to T3 dot cid. Okay, so this way we can, if we select from here by SIDs, right? So this gives us the SIDs who have enrolled in at least three courses. Enrolled in at least three courses. Now, same for four courses, five courses, we can have that combination like that. Okay. Now, let's see if we want to find out the SIDs, retrieve, retrieve SIDs enrolled, enrolled only two courses, only two courses. If we need to retrieve the SIDs who have enrolled in only two courses. Now, only two courses means we need to we need to subtract the SIDs from the entire SIDs which have enrolled in uh, three or more than three courses. Okay, so if we from the entire SID, if we are removing the SIDs who have enrolled, okay, but in this case what will happen, we will be if we are removing the SIDs who have enrolled in three or more courses, three or more courses, then what we will get? We will get the SIDs who have enrolled in two courses. Also, we will get SIDs who haven't enrolled in courses, and also we will get the SIDs who have enrolled in one course. Okay, so we can't follow this approach because it will give at most two. So we want that we need to find the SIDs who have enrolled in only two courses. So please note this point, only two. So here what we will do, so instead of subtracting the SIDs from the enroll, here we will say, let me erase it and write it again. So here what we can say that we will be having a set of SIDs who have enrolled in, let's say, two or more courses. Okay, so if we are having SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses, and if we are subtracting from this the SIDs who have enrolled in three or more courses, then what we will be getting, uh, we will be getting the SIDs who have enrolled in only two courses, in only two courses. Okay, so this will give us the SIDs who have enrolled in only two courses. So from SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses, we are subtracting the SIDs who have enrolled in three or more courses. That makes sense. Like we are subtracting 2 3 4 something minus 3 4 something, so we are getting 2. Okay, so this way we can write it down the expression. Okay, now we already have seen how to find the SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses, and we already have seen how to find the SIDs who have enrolled in three or more courses. That is at least two minus at least three. Similarly, if we have to find out, let's say, retrieve SIDs enrolled in only one course. Now for only one course, we will find out like this. So first of all, we will find the SIDs from enroll. Okay, and then we will find all the SIDs from enroll. So SIDs enrolled in at least one course, at least one course, and that we can get from the enroll. Okay, minus, we need to subtract the SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses. Okay, so we can subtract the SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses from the SIDs who have enrolled in at least one course. So how to find this? So we can write it like projection of SID from enroll, and then we can subtract from here projection of SID, and under bracket we can write row T1 enroll, and natural join conditional join with, here we are taking T1 dot SID, natural join with row T2 enroll, and we are placing a condition here like T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, and T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So from here we are taking all the SIDs who have enrolled in two or more courses. So from the SIDs enrolled in one, two, three, or somehow a lot n number of courses, we are subtracting the SIDs who have enrolled in two, three, four, up to n courses. So what we will get? We will get the SIDs who have enrolled in only one courses, right? So yeah, so this way we can write it down for at least two. By at least two we can have the at most two, and using at least we can have only two as well. Okay, so if we write like this, Then if we ask that retrieve retrieve SIDs, enrolled in at most two courses, or at most let's say one course. Let's find it for one first. At most one courses. So this means that we need to retrieve the student ID who have enrolled in 1 course. Okay, so for this what we will do, we will subtract the SIDs which have enrolled in at least two courses. So from SIDs projected from student, because here we are talking of all those SIDs who have not enrolled in any course also. So this way we are taking the student relation, and from here we are subtracting the SIDs, and this SIDs we are taking up from the course sorry, from the enroll, and we will be subtracting the SIDs who have enrolled in at least two courses, so two or more. Okay, so from here we can write like row T1 enroll, natural join with row T2 enroll, and here we will be giving a condition like T1 dot SID is equal to T2 dot SID, and T1 dot CID is not equal to T2 dot CID. So from here we are subtracting, so from the entire SID part, so here it gives us the SIDs SIDs who have enrolled in zero or more courses, and from this we are subtracting the SIDs who have enrolled who have enrolled in two or more courses. Okay, so we can write it at least two also, but this sounds better. So zero or more courses minus two or more courses, so what we will be remaining, like we have 0 1 2 and so on up to n, and from here we are subtracting 2 3 so on up to n. So from this what we get SIDs who have enrolled in 0 or 1 courses, that is at most 1. Okay, so this way we can find the SIDs who have enrolled in at most one courses, right? Now, this is simple. Like what I was saying, that if we are applying a condition on T1 cross T2, so this is for at least two. Now, if we want to find using this at least method, we can also find the at most two part, at most two, and using at least only we can also find only two part also. So that's what we have currently seen. Now let's take another example where we are asked like we need to find retrieve SIDs enrolled at most one course. Okay, at most one course. So in this case, if we want to retrieve the SIDs which have enrolled in at most one course, so here we can have a 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to n. So in this case what we will see that if we need to retrieve SIDs which have enrolled in at most one course, then we can simply write the SIDs from student. So this student SID, it might be enrolled in the enroll class or it might not be enrolled in the enroll class. Okay, next thing, if we are having a question like if we are having a table, let's say student, and student has a attribute like SID, and then we have the S name, and then we have the age. Okay, and if we are asked that Retrieve the SIDs or student IDs whose age is maximum. Whose age is maximum. So if we need to retrieve the SIDs whose age is, just a second, whose age is maximum. So from the student table, we need to find the student whose age is less than any other student in the student table. So what we will do, we will name the student as T1 student and rename it as T2 student. So we have two copies of student, and then we will do the join of this T1 and T2, and with this join condition that T1 dot SID T1 dot SID is not equal to T2 dot SID, of course, and any student such that T1 dot SID has T1 dot age, sorry, not SID, T1 dot age is less than T2 dot age. Okay. So we are comparing two different students. So this gives us that we are comparing two different students. For these two different students, we are comparing their age, and we are finding that the student age, first student age, has to be less than the second student age. If this condition follows both this condition, then we are going to take their SIDs. Okay. So this particular query retrieves the SIDs, I mean the students, SIDs of students whose age less than whose age less than some other student. Okay. Right now, if we are subtracting those SIDs from the student SIDs, like if we are subtracting these SIDs from the student SIDs, then we will be getting the SID of that student whose age is not less than any other student, that is the maximum age. So like this, if we are doing, and here we are writing T1 dot SID not equal to T2 dot SID, and T1 dot age is less than T2 dot age. So this will give us the SID student ID. So this will give us the student with the maximum age. Student with maximum age. Okay, now one condition is here not required. So this condition is not required because anyhow, if you are comparing the same student and you are trying to compare their age, so it won't be less. Okay, so if S1 has a age of 10 years, and if in T1 also S1 is there which is having an age of 10 years, so this comparison will fail for that. So no need of writing this, although this is an explicit condition that we need to check this, that we are comparing with other student, one student with other student, but it is not at all required. So we can just write it as that T1 dot age less than T2 dot age, and we are subtracting it from the entire student. That means we are subtracting the SIDs of those students whose age is less than some other student. So if we are subtracting that from here, then we are getting the student with the maximum age. Okay, so this is the point here. Right. Now, if we need to find, let's say, for the same relation, if we are need to find that retrieve SIDs whose age whose age is maximum for each name. Okay, so if we are asked to retrieve the SIDs whose age is maximum for each name. Okay, so we need to first categorize based on the name part. So for each name, let's say name of some student are the same. So if we are making like row T1 student, okay, and row T2 student, and if we are writing that T1 conditional join with T2, and T1 dot SID not equal to T2 dot SID, let's say it is explicit, and then we are writing that T1 dot name. Okay, just a second, let me pause this for once. Okay, so if we need to retrieve the SIDs, which is maximum for each name, so here we need to find out that we need to see that T1 dot name has to be equal to T2 dot name. Okay, and the SIDs shouldn't be equal. And one more thing is T1 dot age has to be less than